The last step in assigning the water supply fixture unit loads to the water distribution piping is to simply work our way back from the heater to the meter, and as a branch ties into the cold main, we will look at the total load of the fixtures on that branch, and then we will subtract any hot load that has already been served. After we have looked at that, we will then assign what's left over, that number, back to the cold main. And we will continue to repeat that process until we have gotten back to the water meter. So, as we focus on this drawing then, we have the very first fixture tying in to the cold main on our way back happens to be the automatic clothes washer. The automatic clothes washer has a total load of 1.5. As I mentioned in the step, we are going to take the total load of that fixture or fixtures, and in this case it would be the fixture, and subtract any hot load that has already been served. So we will take and subtract 1, which is the hot load to the automatic clothes washer. We will have 0.5 left over, and then that 0.5 we will add back onto the cold main. On our previous pipe here, in our previous step, we had 18.5 on this piece of pipe, so adding 0.5 will take us up to 19. We'll keep coming back, and we find another branch that ties in, and that branch has the laundry tray, the lav, and the water closet on it. So when we look at the total load of all of the fixtures on that branch, we would have 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1.5, 4.5. We'll subtract any hot load that was served to any of those fixtures, which in this case would be 1 to the laundry tray and 0.5 to the lav, or in other words, 1.5. We will subtract that, and when we subtract that, we have 3 left over. We will take that 3, we'll add it back onto our cold main. We were at 19, we'll go to 22. We'll work back to the next branch that ties in, and in this case it happens to be the laundry tray, and that total load was 1.5. The hot load of that fixture was 1. We'll subtract it. We'll have 0.5 left over to add back on, and so we go to 22.5 on pipe number 17 here. Then we'll work back to the next branch that ties in, and we'll go back upstairs here, and upstairs we find that we had the bathroom group and the shower, and that would put us at a total load of 5.5. We will subtract the hot load from that group of fixtures, which in this case, that hot load was 3. We'll subtract that, and we will be left over with 2.5. That 2.5 gets put back onto our cold main, and we go to 25 WSFU. The next branch that ties in is the kitchen sink, and the total load of the kitchen sink is 1.5. Subtract the hot load of the kitchen sink. So we're subtracting 1. We have 0.5 left over. Add 0.5 back on, and we are at 25.5. Last branch that ties into the cold main is the hose bib. The total load of the hose bib is 3. You'll notice there is no hot load to this hose bib, so the load that we would be subtracting is 0. That leaves us with 3 left over. We add the 3 onto the cold main, and that takes us to 28 0.5. And now we can compare the load on the piece of pipe immediately downstream from the water meter to what we started with in the building load, and we'll notice that both of them are identical, and we can rest assured that we have correctly assigned the WSFUs throughout the entire water distribution system. We have now completed this step, and all of the WSFU have been correctly assigned to this drawing.